Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican, please, verbis labiat.
Literally not true.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Oh, for Trump's sake.
You will bring the jury.
Good morning, good Thursday, good podcast Thursday morning to you. I am the Recovery Addict. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. There's a little spider web. It's floating around my room. Hopefully there's no spider, though. No spider attached to it. All right, welcome coming in. Sorry, I'm just a little bit, got a little bit of work to do this morning. Had some calls to make and all that, and we're good. We're here. We have a fun day lined up for you, actually. It's going to be awesome. Big shout out goes to Fire Girl, handmade by Wendy. Congratulations, you were first in chat today. The internet is all yours. Fire Girl, you've done this before. You did great last time. We expect you to do great this time as well. But everything IP related worldwide is your responsibility to fix. So just keep it going for us and we'll all be happy. No complaints. Whoop, whoop. She says, whoop, whoop. You're ready. Let the calls begin. Let the calls begin. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jade. Welcome. Thanks for saying hello to our wonderful mods who are up early working. I think they usually start around 7:30 Eastern time, just for you to know. They put in like more than a full day's work. And usually there's some work going on overnight as well. But is this Mr. Frog Day? It is, but not yet. That's after lunch. It's almost the last thing we're going to do today is Mr. Frog. The last thing is the podcast, but right before that will be Mr. Frog. Let's see. What else? We have a little case that's begun that we're going to play some catch up on because we missed just a little bit yesterday. And then we're going to be going to one of our favorite courtrooms. I called it just the Think Before You Cheat trial, just because, the wife's on trial because of allegedly what she did when the husband allegedly cheated. That a lot of allegedlys there. A lot of allegedlys. But we're going to see. We might change the name of this as we go along. So you have some suggestions. Let us know. Let's see. Howdy, friends. Hope everyone's having a more enjoyable morning than I am. Huge fire at the sawmill last night within the entire ventilation system, far more significant than last year's fire in the saw room. Ayden, I'm so sorry, my friend. I talked to you this morning about this. The good news is nobody is hurt. Nobody was hurt. Stuff can be replaced. Things can be replaced. But no injuries. That's the big thing. So good luck on that one. I know that's... Ivan, if... He's wondering what he did to get the string of bad luck. So if you have some remedy to fix Ivan's luck, now would be a great time to go ahead and just do that on his behalf. So he needs this little curse of bad luck to break. Let's see. We had to leave early yesterday. Was on rewatch this morning. Thank you. I can't help but smile every time I hear verdict music. You got to hear it twice yesterday. This case could be very spicy. It might have a bit of spice, but Ivan's like, who made the voodoo doll? Come on, fess up. Who did it? Mr. Frog is due in court today, and we know he's going to be there. Why? Because he's already in custody. He's going to be transported or appear from the jail. It's going to happen. Let's see. Legally Blonde says, if Ivan asked my grandpa that question, grandpa would have said, it's because you're living in sin. There you go, Ivan. Apparently, you need to repent. Let's see. Put rock salt in a little container behind your front door. That might help. Sorry, I'm reading some of this. Sending you a lucky coin. That's too vague. I need more specific. Which sin? Which sin is it that's causing this? Oh, man. Let's see. Have you seen the trial in Michigan with 2 juries and 2 defendants? Whoa. I've seen a lot of trials with 2 juries, 2 defendants, 2 juries? Like 2 simultaneous juries to argue for each. I have never seen that. That sounds absolutely wild. Where are you watching that? Where are you seeing that one? What trial is it? I think Trial TV Live has that one, right? That is nuts. That is crazy. 2 juries. I'll have to hear about that. That is really cool. I'm really excited for Trial TV Live to get a trial like that. That sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Hopefully it's just not mass mayhem all day long. I mean, think when the jurors go to the bathroom, you've got 24 people lined up for the jurors' bathroom. Breaks must be incredibly long. It must take forever. What? 24 people have to show up to court early, or else if one person's late, everybody gets delayed. The breaks in this must be incredibly long. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Josh comes in with the reminder that we do, in fact, have some birthdays to celebrate this morning, which is wonderful. We've had a long string of celebrating birthdays. Every morning we go live. Josh Hutchins says, Buffer, happy birthday to Jackson Newell and Orion. Jackson and Orion, happy birthday. We're going to sing and celebrate your birthday today, and we do that as a group.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Even Judge Fleischer weighs in like that. So we're going to do this. Everyone stand up, take a breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbor, and warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. All right, here we go. Happy birthday to Jackson Newell and Orion. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jackson Newell and Orion. And belated birthday to Kathy. Happy birthday to you. Looks like we got a late ad of Riel. I think it's Riel. Kathy, I'm sorry we missed you on Sunday. We added Kathy to the song. There we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rael and Kathy. Happy birthday to you. My son's birthday is tomorrow. Denisha will sing to him tomorrow. That's going to be great. To those celebrating their birthday today, I realize there are many wonderful days. There are many wonderful days. Today is your special day. And I realize there are a million places you could be and a million people you could have celebrated with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, pleasure, the honor, the joy is ours. Hopefully we can turn some of that joy back to you and make your day a little more specialer. Begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlop's House, Andy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. Crap. Drum solo, you gotta help me here.
My world shattered. Every day I wake up with a hole in my heart.
I forgot about
can
this.
No longer hear
we have
his
sentencing
laughter.
for Ogletree.
Him. When I need comfort or see I wake up with a hole in my heart. I can no longer hear his laughter, hug him when I need comfort, or see him achieve the change he wanted to make in his life. I live with grief, anger, and questions that will never be answered. The impact on my life and my family has been devastating. There are nights I cannot sleep because of the images that replay in my mind. Holidays and birthdays are no longer celebrations, but painful reminders of his absence. Even the simplest things like hearing his favorite songs or even looking at his son can break me. Your Honor, I want you to understand that my son was not just a troublemaker. He was a beloved son, father, grandson, brother, friend. His life mattered. He deserved the chance to live and grow and fulfill his potential and was close to getting out and doing this. Because of this crime, that chance was taken away forever. I am left to live with the unbearable reality of his absence. I respectfully ask that when considering sentencing, the court recognizes the gravity of what has been taken, not only from me, but from everyone who loved him. The pain of losing a child to violence never goes away. My hope is that justice will be served and not that any other family will have to experience the kind of loss from these defendants.
Thank you.
These are victim impact
Mr.
statements.
Knippen, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from probation?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Mr. Brenner?
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple of things. First, I want to state that I know the court's aware throughout this case I've spent a good amount of time with Mr. Ogletree. I've gotten to know him, gotten to know his family, and I think I can say definitively this man is not a monster. I know that it was not his intention to hurt this man or his family. I don't know that we're ever going to know the full truth of what took place that day, but I think that Mr. Ogletree is being truthful when he said that he had no problems with Mr. Wetherington. I think it speaks to his character also. We spoke more than once about the victim's family and about him wanting the victim's family to know what took place and to know who was responsible. In fact, I think yesterday, when we were talking about waiting for the family to come so that they could hear the verdict, my client said, I think they have a right to be here. We were kind of whispering back and forth. And I know that this is a situation that has weighed heavily on Mr. Ogletree. He knows that regardless of whether the outcome of this trial, he's going to be in prison for decades. And I think we've talked, he recognizes that, and I'm not here to make excuses, but he's from the projects of Cleveland. He had a rough upbringing. He's had a lot of adversity in his life. Not that that's an excuse. I just want the court to be aware of that. And I think he recognizes that he needs to and he wants to change and not be this person and not be associated with crimes or illegal activity or frankly breaking the rules in the facility. He wants to be the kind of person who is at peace with himself and at peace with other people. I think he's making progress in that direction. And again, I know the court's aware of kind of the progress of this case, but Mr. Ogletree has been respectful. He has been, obviously, I know there was a slight issue during the trial, but we had no problems whatsoever, and I do not anticipate there being problems in the future with Mr. Ogletree. Obviously, this entire situation was horrible and a tragedy, and we are so sorry to the victim's family. With that being said, Your Honor, this was nearly 2 years ago, and I do think that Mr. Ogletree has started to make that change that I was just speaking about and that I know that he wants to do. And I just hope that the court recognizes that, takes that into consideration. Additionally, I will reiterate, I know the court's aware he's in prison currently until 2043. I would just ask the court to issue an appropriate sentence that would perhaps permit Mr. Ogletree in his old age to have some taste of freedom. And we just ask the court to consider that, and thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ogletree, is there anything you'd like to say before I sentence you?
Yes, Your Honor. First and foremost, I want to apologize to the family because I never got a chance to. Even though I'm not even going to sit and make excuses for myself. I just want to apologize because don't nobody deserve to be through that. And I was sorry. I'm sorry you ever put you through this, man. I'm sorry. Sincerely, through my heart, like. And I know they brought up my record. I took accountability. I copped out to my actions. This one, I feel like the person who was really involved, he slithered away. So I wanted to take accountability. I did. I wanted to cop out, but I wanted the person who was really involved to take accountability first, because it was his actions. I never had a problem with your son, man. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm.
Yeah, that's.
I never had a problem with your son, man. Like I never even had no physical, nothing. Like I know you was familiar with coming and shit. Like, y'all from the same city. He's told me he was friends with your son. Like, he is not to be trusted. That's not. And I want to warn you that because you deserve to know that. And I don't want to really say too much because it stumble over my words, but I'm so sorry for your loss, man. And everybody over there, I'm sorry for everybody lost.
Thank you.
Y'all didn't deserve that.
Thank you.
The family accepts
But
the apology.
again, I took responsibility for my actions and those charges that I'm sentenced for. I took responsibility. I didn't want to make this all long, drawn out. I didn't want this for everybody that's present. I didn't want this, but I just feel like I was my back against the wall, and the person who brought me in the situation was putting it all on me. So I had no choice. I wanted to get on that stand and tell everything, but the consequences like that I will suffer behind that. Like I can severely be hurt. So it's just like, I was confused, Your Honor. I was confused. I didn't know. I was never, like, this was a situation was really new to me. I never even was, like I told Brenner numerous of times, like, I just wanted justice for the family. Numerous of times. From the beginning to the end, I told him, like, I just want, like if I do get on that stand, it's not going to be for no jurors, it's not going to be for nobody present but the family. If I do get on there. Because I just want them to be understanding, but I feel like I would just save it to the end. Or but at the end of the day, Your Honor, I'm already doing a long time in prison. I'm already doing a long time. I'm looking to get home when I'm 50-something. So that's already deprived of my life. My children's life, I have children too. I'm already deprived from them. So, like I know they looking for justice, but like I'm already deprived of my life, you know. I'm already looking to come home old. Like, I don't like. At this point, I'm thinking like, any time farther than that, like, I'm not even looking forward to coming home anymore. So it's like, what do I do from here? Like I'm overwhelmed with so much at this point. I don't even know if I'm strong enough to stand behind that. But I don't know. I feel like I'm battling, Your Honor. So I just wanted to express myself to you before you sentence me because, you know.
All right. Thank you, sir. It is difficult to imagine, Mr. Ogletree. I know that you are already serving a long sentence, and now the court intends to add time to that sentence. I honestly don't know how I can, in any way, no matter what my sentence is, provide comfort and justice to Mr. Wetherington's family. I just can't. They sat through 2 trials in this case. Mr. Knippen brings up a point which I was going to mention, is that after this, and the court does believe, after sitting through 2 trials and hearing from the jury yesterday, that you were involved in this, that you did in fact beat Mr. Weathering to the point of his death. I mean, I have no doubt about that. Your actions on the video immediately following that shows no remorse. I don't know how you could have any type, how you could be involved in something like this and not be affected to your core that you've just taken a man's life. And this isn't the first time that you've taken someone's life. This is second time that you've killed another human being, and now you want me to have sympathy on you because your life is now ruined. You exterminated 2 lives from this world. They're gone. They won't come back. This lady will never be able to hug her son again. Forget that. Listen to me. You had a chance to talk uninterrupted by anybody. Now, if you have something else to say, I'll give you a chance. But once I start speaking, I do not expect to be interrupted. Are we clear on that?
I apologize.
Okay. Is there something else you want to say?
I apologize. When somebody try to tell you did something, and you ain't do it, it's hard for me to just like...
Well, again, here's the problem, Mr. Ogletree. You can't in one breath say, I wanted to take accountability, I'm sorry for the family, and then in the next breath say, I didn't do anything. That's not how this works. So either you are accountable or you're not. The jury has spoken. The 12 members of that jury found you guilty of these offenses. So I quite frankly agree with the jury, so I'm not going to even dispute this with you. Is there anything else you want to say? And then after this, do not interrupt me again. Is there something else you want to say?
I thought you was giving me the time. The reason why I just was still talking because I thought you just asked me that same question.
I'm not asking questions. I'm making observations right now.
Your Honor, if I may, on behalf of Mr. Ogletree, I believe what he's intending to say, just based on my interactions with him, is he wanted to take accountability for his involvement, but he does deny being the one who beat Mr. Weatherington. I know that's
I understand that's what you're saying,
yeah.
But again, the jury has spoken. The facts have been decided by a jury, and quite frankly, based upon what I saw on the video of his actions following him leaving Mr. Weatherington's cell 2J3, the court, I find that incredible. I mean, I just do. So, I won't go on any other. We have exhibits, State's Exhibits 92 and 93, which have been stipulated to, which show the prior convictions of Mr. Ogletree. The court has considered the statements made here today, the purposes and principles of sentencing, the relevant seriousness and recidivism factors. And, ma'am, there's no justice that I can dish out today that's going to satisfy you. There's nothing that I can do. I cannot bring your son back, and you have the sympathy of the court. Court does find that counts 1 and 2 are dealing with offenses arising out of the same incident, and that they are allied offenses of similar import, and they will merge. Count 2 will merge into count 1, the state electing to proceed with sentencing on count 1, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. On count 1, the court will order that you serve a sentence of 15 years to life. On the repeat violent offender specification, the court will order you to serve 10 years, that to be served consecutive
25 years, just added
to the 15 years to life. On the aggravated robbery, the court will order you to serve 11 years to 16 and a half years in prison. That is the Reagan Tokes, and again, I'm not really certain, as I sit here today, how that interacts with the indefinite sentence on the life, 15 to life. I will order that to be served consecutive to count 1, and on the violent offender, repeat violent offender specification, 10 years consecutive to the count 3 and consecutive to count 1 and the specification to count 1. The court finds that the consecutive sentences are necessary to punish this defendant and to protect the public from future crime. It is not disproportionate to the conduct or danger posed by the defendant, and these offenses were committed while the defendant was already incarcerated with the Department of Corrections.
Yeah, he just added close to 40, 35, 46 years.
Now, on
like
the aggravated robbery, you are subject to a mandatory period of post-release control, which means upon your release, the adult parole authority will supervise you for a period of 5 years. If you violate that supervision, you can be returned to prison for up to 1/2 of the court's original minimum term sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year, or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer, and that time would run consecutive to any additional prison time that you get sentenced to. You may be subject to supervision of the adult parole authority upon your release from prison for the remainder of your life pursuant to the revised code section 2967.13, but may also be granted final release from parole supervision no earlier than 5 years after being released from prison.
This is effectively a life sentence.
You have been convicted of a qualifying violent offender offense as defined by Ohio Revised Code section 2903.41. Upon your release from prison, you are required to enroll in the violent offender database personally with the sheriff of the county in which you reside 10 days after being sentenced. If you're an out-of-state offender, you must enroll in the database personally with the sheriff of the county in which you reside or occupy a dwelling within 10 days of either residing in or occupying a dwelling in Ohio for more than 3 consecutive days, or residing or occupying in a dwelling in Ohio for an aggregate period in a calendar year of 14 or more days. You're required to provide the sheriff information including your full name and any alias, your residence address, your social security number, any driver's license information or commercial driver's license or state identification card number issued to you, information regarding the offense of which you were convicted or pleaded guilty, the name and address of any place where you are employed, the name and address of any school or institution of higher education you attend, license plate number of each vehicle owned or operated by you or registered in your name, vehicle identification number of each vehicle and the description of each vehicle, a description of any scars, tattoos, or other distinguishing marks on your person.
None of this matters.
You are required to provide the sheriff fingerprints and palm prints. The sheriff will also obtain a photograph of you at the time of enrollment. After the date of initial enrollment, you're required to re-enroll annually. You must update and or amend any of the information described above that has changed and provide any additional information requested at the county sheriff's office within 10 days of the anniversary of the calendar date in which you initially enrolled. If you change your residence address during the 10-year enrollment period, you shall provide written notice of that change to the sheriff with whom you most recently enrolled and to the sheriff in the county in which you intend to reside within 3 business days of the change of address. You are required to comply with all of the above described requirements for a period of 10 years unless your sentencing court determines otherwise. Mr. Logston has a form that basically says the same thing that I just read to you, that I'm asking you to please sign for me, please, and your copy will be given to you.
He's going to take his time reading it.
The court does find that he's indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial sanctions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And he has 0 days jail time credit as of today on this sentence.
0 days because he was serving, the time he was serving was for other sentences.
Now, it is possible on the Reagan-Tokes case for you to earn 5 to 15% against your minimum sentence for good behavior. The court has a right to deny your good time credit, and a hearing would be held to make that determination. Regardless of whether you receive good time credit, you will be released when you finish your minimum term sentence. And in this case, that minimum term sentence is really the beginning of the tail for the life sentence. I'm just reading this notification to you just to cover all the bases. The Ohio Department of Corrections might determine that you must remain in prison for bad conduct. The court is not involved in that decision. If you're not released when your minimum term ends, you will serve an additional specified period of time and given a new release date. You'll serve until that date unless you are again denied release. The process could repeat until you are released or you finish your maximum term, which again in this case is life. You do have a right to appeal both the jury's decision and this court's sentence to the 12th District Court of Appeals. If you want to appeal, you must file your notice of appeal within 30 days of today's date. If you can't afford to pay for the transcript or anything necessary for your appeal, that can all be provided to you at no cost. If you cannot afford an attorney, I will appoint one for you at no cost. Mr. Knippen, did I leave anything out?
Your Honor, just 2 things just for the record. I know you indicated there was a stipulation to 92 and 93, which were the certified copies of the defendant's prior convictions. The court is making a finding of guilty
Do we have a court watcher?
I'm sorry, yes. Yeah,
Regarding
based upon the stipulation and the findings of the jury, the court will make a finding of guilty with regard to the specifications for the repeat violent offender.
And then also with respect, I know you ordered the sentences to run consecutive to one another. That's also consecutive to the prison sentence that he's currently serving.
I'm sorry, yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all.
If I didn't say that, that was the court's intention all along, yes. All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brenner?
Your Honor, I will, just to preserve it for the record, I will place an objection to indefinite sentencing on constitutional grounds.
Thank you. All right, anything else, sir?
No, not this time.
Mr. Ogletree, as I said, you have a right to appeal the court's decision of your sentence and the jury's verdict. If you'd like, I will have Mr. Brenner file that notice of appeal for you, and then I will appoint new counsel to handle your appeal if that's what your wishes are. You can let Mr. Brenner know before you leave. All right, anything else, folks?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
What's that?
Not at this time.
Not this time. Wow. So that went quickly.
And Dina, you can have these back.
He's basically sentenced.
The habit of throwing in the Pickles office.
I let the man free. Possible.
I'll file that today.
Hey, real quick.
Real quick.
We're still on the record here. The notice of duties to enroll as a violent offender form was presented to Mr. Ogletree, and he's refused to sign it, just for the record. He was given an opportunity. It was read to him on the record.
He's mad.
He's refused to sign it, and that's fine. So,
Thank you.
You want this back?
He's mad. Roughly about 45 years to life. As he is let out first. That's interesting. Interesting that they only have the one entrance and exit from this courtroom. But he's mad at Cummings. He's mad that he took the fall for something where he may have been a minor player or a lesser. I'm not saying that his involvement was insignificant. I'm saying that it might have been to a lesser amount than Mr. Cummings, who did seem to be sort of orchestrating and arranging and instigating possibly everything. Participation. That's, you don't want to be the getaway driver. You will get stuck with whatever crime that anyone else commits on the. It happens. This is how the law works. I can tell you that that he and Mr. Cummings should probably not be housed in the same block going forward, and they might be right now because he's just returning to his original sentence. It's not like he's going to go to a jail for a little while and then move to some prison. He's headed back to where Cummings is. They might have some beef now. Cummings is out. Oh my goodness! Why is Cummings out already? I thought Cummings got out soon. Cummings was in for something else already. I thought Cummings was moved. Maybe that's it. He's out. He's out to a different jail. All right. So that wraps up our sentencing for Mr. Ogletree. Now we can go back and see if we can find where we were with Judge Boyd's trial, which is about to, let's see, we've got a lot going on today. Let's see, Judge Boyd, where are we at? Judge Stephanie Boyd. Okay, and we're looking at, I think it's this one. Oops, no, that's not it. It's this one. Okay. New trial. New trial. You're going to listen carefully because this is the indictment that's going to be read, or the charge is going to be read first. Oh, man. That's a QR code for the Wi-Fi. Do you see that on the screen there? That's a QR code for the Wi-Fi. if you need the the password to court, there it is. Oh man. Okay, we'll give it just a minute for them to get caught up. Staring at the Alamo. This is actually the view of the witness box in Judge Boyd's court. This is the box just to the judge's left.
Would you like the defense to rise?
Yes.
And now we're beginning the trial. Defendants fought on the far
True
right.
bill of indictment. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, the grand jury of Bexar County, state of Texas, duly organized and paneled and sworn as such at the September-October term AD 2024 of the 290th Judicial District Court of said county, in said court, at said term, do present in and to said court that in the county and state aforesaid and anterior to the presentment of this indictment. Count 1. Aggravated assault of a deadly weapon on or about November 5th, 2023, Shelby Jean Rodriguez, hereinafter referred to as defendant, did use and exhibit a deadly weapon, namely a firearm, and the defendant did intentionally and knowingly threaten imminent bodily injury to Anthony James Rodriguez, hereinafter referred to as complainant, by pointing said deadly weapon at and in the direction of the complainant. Count 2, aggravated assault deadly weapon. On or about November 5th, 2023, Shelby Jean Rodriguez, hereinafter referred to as defendant, did use and exhibit a deadly weapon, namely a knife, that in the manner of its use and intended use was capable of causing death and serious bodily injury. And the defendant did intentionally and knowingly threaten imminent bodily injury to Anthony James Rodriguez, hereinafter referred to as complainant, by pointing said deadly weapon at and in the direction of the complainant against the peace and dignity of the state.
All right, to that, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, you may be seated.
Okay, defendants in black with the
State,
white stripes.
do you have any opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
This is a husband-wife situation, domestic, and you're going to hear the details here in the opening statements.
Accountability. That's what this case is going to be about. Being held accountable for the things you've done. Not everybody likes it. Not everybody wants it. But we as a state expect you commit a wrong to be held accountable. By the end of this trial, it'll be easy for you to determine, because this is not going to be too difficult to determine. It will be easy for you all to determine. That defendant sitting right there threatened the life of the complainant in this case with 2 different deadly weapons. But yet she felt like she would not be held accountable for doing so. You're going to hear about the lives of a couple throughout this trial. That couple is Shelby Rodriguez and her husband, Anthony Rodriguez. We'll hear about their marriage. We're going to hear that it was not a perfect marriage. You will hear that they had 3 beautiful children together. You're going to hear about the things that they like to do together as a family. You'll hear about how things got tough and what caused things to get tough in their marriage. And you will hear how unfortunately that marriage came to an end. You are going to hear from Anthony Rodriguez. He is going to get up on the witness stand right there. He's going to testify. He's the complainant in this case, and he will tell you how he became the complainant in a criminal case. He will tell you in more detail about his marriage to Shelby. He's going to tell you about the obstacles that were in place throughout their marriage.
That's okay.
He will tell you how he endured those.
Got the volume cranked.
Endured those. Yes, infidelity will be discussed.
Yes, infidelity will be discussed.
He's going to tell you about how some of his own behavior
This is a jury
caused
trial.
those obstacles. He's going to tell you about how his own infidelity took place. He'll tell you that when that came up, he wanted to walk away, just like you heard juror number 34 say. He's going to tell you about how his own wife, the defendant, reacted when he told her about his infidelity. He's going to tell you she pointed a gun at his head, threatened to kill him. placing him in fear for his life, not only his own life, but the lives of their 3 children that were in the immediate vicinity of both of them while this was all going on. You will hear him say he was begging the defendant, please, not in front of the children. You're also going to hear from SAPD Officer Jordan Hernandez. You're going to hear him testify about his arrival to the scene, his interaction with Rodriguez and Anthony Rodriguez, and what he further did while he was there on the scene. You're going to hear from SAPD Detective David Jacobs. He's going to tell you about what he did when he got to the scene and the evidence that he collected while he was there on the scene. Lastly, you're going to hear from SAPD Detective Justin Carrion. He's going to tell you about the investigation that he conducted in the case and how he was able to determine that a crime was indeed committed. Now, as I mentioned to you at the beginning, this trial is all about accountability, right? Everyone has to be held accountable for the wrongs they do in life, no matter how justified they may feel at the time in doing these wrongs. Everyone has to be held accountable for the consequences of their actions. We are asking that you hold that defendant accountable for what she did that day. You find her guilty of aggravated assault.
All right.
Defense, any opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court, counsel. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you again for being here. I think, as I told you, and we're dire. No one asked for jury duty, but quite simply, you can't have this process without all of you. You have my thanks for being here. And you have Shelby's thanks. This is a case of domestic violence. This is a case of a woman living in an unhappy marriage, in a dangerous marriage, who was forced to point a weapon at her husband in self-defense. We are not disputing that a weapon was displayed that evening. We are not going to dispute that it was a gun. What it's going to matter is going to be the why. In a lot of sense in the law, we're not concerned about why. We're not concerned about motive. In this case, it's a bit different. It's everything. This wasn't a woman who pulled a weapon and just said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to hurt you arbitrarily. She did this in response to physical threats and acts of violence that evening that could only be countered by an equal threat that rose to the level of justification of the use and display of deadly force. I anticipate you're going to hear from the state's witnesses. I'm not sure exactly. You're going to hear from the complaining witness. You're going to hear from the detective, but you're also going to see and hear other evidence that's going to fill in those key pieces. Like you saw during Verdire, you saw a picture of a tree with missing pieces and said, oh, you have it there. This is all about those missing pieces, and that's what the defense is going to show for you, and that's what we're going to do for you. There was a weapon displayed that night. We're not going to dispute the evidence shows it, but what's going to be important and what's ultimately going to lead to the correct verdict, a verdict of not guilty, is why that weapon was displayed and what happened in the moments leading up to it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that after you hear everything, after you see all the evidence, that you will return the only verdict which makes sense, and that is not guilty as to the offense of aggravated assault. I thank you for your time, your patience, and consideration, and your attentiveness throughout this process. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, State, you may call your first witness.
Defense going with self-defense.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor,
can we approach?
Sure.
Sorry.
Can we approach? Let's have a sidebar. Defense going with self-defense as their story. We're saying we're not debating. Yeah, she pulled a gun, but she had to because she was being attacked. They didn't explain how she's charged with both the gun and the knife. Maybe that will come in later. Sounds like she will testify in this one because self-defense, that's an affirmative defense. You sort of have to set that up. So we might hear from both sides on this. And this is probably, honestly, going to come down in a big part to a he said, she said situation, unless the children are old enough to testify, which they might be if this happened in front of them. Let's see. On today's agenda, we've got this quick trial This is quick. This is what happened yesterday. Just getting caught up. They only have one witness that we missed, so we're very close to being caught up on that one. We're going to pick this one up later on. We're going to do a tiny bit of court hopping between when we finish this trial and when we start Judge Boyd again. And then later in the day, we've got Farag's appearance, which should be sentencing up in Thurston County. And then the podcast. It's going to be a long day, but we've got a bunch of things to go to. It's been fast. We've already had one sentencing. We're going to have 2 sentencings today. No insanity defense, missing the layup. I don't know. Self-defense, justified. What shall we count? Let's see. They're not disputing the gun was pulled, so there's going to be lots of some evidence that won't be countered at all or disputed. Sidebars might work. Sorry, I had a yawn creep out of nowhere. So, isn't this picture of a church in Mexico? This is the Alamo. Remember the Alamo. We need a sentencing song. Zach, you're picking a fight. You're picking a fight. Kelly, our thoughts and prayers with you. Hopefully everything goes great. You've got great medical staff doing their best for you. The spice counter.
State would call Officer David Jacobs.
We're going to hear all about good faith today from Mr. Farag. And stubby pencils. We're going to hear about stubby pencils. The cheating counter. How about that? Let's count how many times they talk about cheating. So infidelity, cheating, affair. Let me get that counter. I think we're up to about 3 on those 3 words, right?
Can you use this on your call?
You can just leave it there.
Yeah.
If you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
If you'll state your name for the record.
David Jacobs.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, Officer Jacobs. Excuse me, Detective Jacobs. My apologies. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Detective Jacobs, San Antonio Police Department. Been on 18 years. Been a detective now for about.
Let's take that one at a time. I'm sorry. All right. So you mentioned you're employed with SAPD, correct?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been with SAPD?
18 years.
Okay. Can you please explain to the jury how you initially got to applying for SAPD and the process of that?
Back then it was apply online and go take a test with everybody else. If you get high enough on the test, they call you in and you start the academy.
Okay. Could you explain that academy process to the jury, please?
Learning about law, also physical fitness.
You learn about law and physical fitness?
A lot of other stuff too.
What kind of,
other things?
When you say the law, what kind of specific things would you learn in the classroom while you were at the academy?
Texas Penal Code, Criminal Code of Procedure, our general manual.
Okay, and then you also mentioned there was a physical component to being at the academy, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Could you please explain what that is to the jury?
Usual, just kind of like the military, I guess. very military based. Mess up, run with everybody, or do push-ups, and running with your class, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. How long is the academy with SAPD?
Back when I went through it was 6 months. Now I
Okay.
think it's 8.
Okay, it was 6 months when you went through it. What happens at the end of that 6 months?
You take your oath, get your badge, and then you become a probationary officer. And you.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Do you just, as soon as you graduate, you become an officer, or is there an exam you have to take right at the end of the academy?
Yes, there's plenty of exams you have to.
Is there one final one that allows you to graduate, or is this based upon all the other ones?
To make sure everything you've learned.
And I apologize for talking over you. I'm going to try not to talk over you so that it's easier for the court reporter to maintain a record, okay? Okay, so after you graduate, you said you go through an FTO process, is that correct?
Yes, sir. You ride along with another seasoned officer to kind of learn the ropes and learn what to do, what not to do.
What not to do.
Learn about helping out people.
How long is the FTO process when you were going through it?
3 months, once on each shift, morning, afternoon, and night shift. And then you had your phases of evaluation where it was a week where you're getting evaluated, two evaluations until after that. Then if you passed everything, they let you go on your own.
Okay, so you mentioned 3 different phases.
Yes, sir.
What are those 3 phases, please? Can you explain that to the jury?
There's different shifts on the department. There's a morning shift, afternoon shift, and a night shift. There's even a midday shift as well now too. But back then it was you ride for a month with an officer and you basically go to calls, anything you call the police for, accidents, domestic disturbances, anything you call the police for. You're showing up to find out, kind of learn the ropes, what to do and what not to do.
Okay. And what happens at the end of that 3-month process?
You meet with supervisors. They see if you've met all the standards that they want. And then once they say you have, then they cut you loose to be on your own. You don't have to ride with somebody anymore.
Okay. And is that what happened to you?
Yes, sir.
So you successfully completed the academy, correct?
Yes.
And you successfully got through the FTO process?
Yes.
So then at that point, you were assigned by SAPD to be on your own?
Yes.
Okay. What was your position at that time with SAPD after you finished your FTO process?
Probationary officer.
Okay. And how long were you a probationary officer?
It's for a year.
A year? Okay. What happens after that? Well, explain to the jury what a probation officer is.
Probation officer, in a nutshell, means if you're on probation, if you mess up, the city can basically say, we're done with you, and they can fire you. You're kind of like an at-will employee. You have to show that you've learned a lot and you're not messing up, basically.
Okay. Did you have a successful probation period?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what happened after that 1 year of probation?
Stayed on patrol and was patrol officer for 8 years, I think.
Okay. Do you recall the areas of San Antonio that you were assigned to patrol during that 8 years?
Yes, sir. North Patrol.
North Patrol. Was that the entire 8 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of shifts did you work while you were on North Patrol North Patrol for 8 years?
Midday shifts, 1:30 to, well, back then it was 2 to 10.
Okay.
Now it's 1:30 to 9:30.
All right. Are you still currently a patrol officer?
No, sir.
And what is your current position?
Detective.
Okay. Did you become a detective immediately after that 8 years as a patrol officer?
Our process is everybody who's eligible to test after having 5 years on the department, and everybody tests, and based upon your score, they start at the top and work their way down, and you promote that way.
Okay. So
based on how many slots there are.
And you successfully promoted after that 8 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like
that's your still current position.
Time situation.
All right. Specifically, though, are you what's referred to as a uniform evidence detective, or they refer to it as a UEDI?
Yes.
Could you explain what that is to the jury, please?
I'm on patrol still with the other guys, the patrolmen, but I carry around a camera. I go to like family violences for photos. I'll test narcotics for the officers that find narcotics on people. Burglary vehicles, burglary habitations. I'll go print the locations, try and look for fingerprints for bad guys. That's basically me. And then when I'm not doing any of that, I'm taking patrol calls like the patrolmen are doing.
And how long have you been doing that particular position?
9 years.
9 years. Okay. So altogether, you've been with the SAPD for over 18?
Almost 19.
Almost 19, right. half of which patrol and then the other half in your current position?
All patrol, sir. It was all patrol.
Let's just get straight to the
right, I
police
understand,
call.
but different job titles is what I'm getting at, right? Okay. Were you working as a UEDI for SAPD on November 5th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall responding to an incident at that day around, we'll call it 6 o'clock in the afternoon? Could you please describe to the jury what happened when you got that call around that time?
I don't exactly remember what the call was for. I think it was for...
What?
We're looking at a copy of your report. Have to refresh your recollection?
Yeah.
Offense report, too.
Okay.
Do you not refresh his recollection? Like in the last week or so?
Yes.
I'm having you what's been pre-marked taking a bit one for identification purposes. If you could just review it to refresh your memory and then look back at me when you're done.
Read the whole thing. Do us a favor and just really brush up on this one. He describes becoming a detective like, well, you sit through a class and you run, and
Has your memory been refreshed on
fall
detective?
down, you become a detective.
So do you recall what the call was about when you received it?
Disturbance. It doesn't say on here what the call was. I remember it had something to do with the family disturbance of some sort.
Right. Do you recall where you responded to?
Nope.
I think it has the address on here, Ayden.
Okay.
Kathy Davidson, happy birthday. Well, the officer is looking for anything that can
Back in there.
help him remember. Happy birthday.
Report on the offense.
That's fine. Let me just have a brief minute.
Is the state just like completely unprepared? This is their foundation officer, the first responder on the scene, responds to the call, and he's like, I don't know, don't remember it. Not sure why I was called there. Don't remember, don't have a distinct recollection at this time, even what happened. This man is a detective.
Can I push the witness again, Laura?
Yes.
Red pen. I just missed it. I had the sound down.
I think it was pretty much a safe exhibit 2 for identification purposes. Like you could review that for refresh your memory. Looks like when you're finished.
This happened November 5th, 2023. This is 2 years ago, and police officers respond to dozens of calls a day.
So let's see the address.
Okay. Do you recall the address that you responded to? To your knowledge, is that location within Bexar County, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what did you do when you first responded to that address?
It had vague information on the key card. It just said somebody got into a disturbance, and I don't remember exactly what the key card said, but it said it was very vague on. It said like a car was 2 houses down, and then we got a name Shelby is all we had.
Okay.
They had a disturbance with.
All right, let me stop you right there real quick. You keep referring to key card. Now, I think you know what that is, but can you tell the jury what a key card is?
Whenever you call the police, the 911 call takers generate what's called a key card. It's got address, details, what's going on, phone numbers, who's calling. And on key cards, you can look at like by the address, it'll have like priors to the house or apartment, whatever the case may be. It just helps us figure out where we need to go, what's going on. And it also has a map too, so you can find out how to get the fastest way. That's what a key card is.
Okay. Now, with that information, were you able to find the correct address of where the call came from?
The vicinity, the street is how we had to start.
Okay.
But,
what did you do once you found the street?
We went close to where we thought was the correct house, but the key card was so vague that we had to basically go to where I thought would be close and not, and had to go about it asking for people's names when they open the door.
Were you able to determine the correct address after doing that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did you do when you determined what the correct address was where the call came from?
Knocked on the door, and somebody opened the door.
Okay, and do you see the person that opened the door in this courtroom?
I do.
Could you please point to her and describe her by an article of clothing she's wearing?
The black and white dress.
Okay. What did you do when you came into contact with her?
Asked her her name. I think we had it on the key card, said just her first name, I think, and what's going on.
Okay. Did she provide a statement to you?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do after you got a statement from her?
I waited for Officer Hernandez, who was talking to the victim at a different, either on the phone or a different location, to find out the other side of it.
You identified the person earlier that you came into contact with first upon arriving to that address. And you said you obtained her name, correct?
If I recall, yes, sir.
What was the name of that person you came into contact with?
Shelby Rodriguez. I only had heard Shelby at first because that's all we had, I think, on the key card was just Shelby.
Okay. And then throughout your interaction with her, were you able to get her last name?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now you testified you got a statement and then you were waiting for Officer Hernandez, who was having contact with the complainant, correct?
Yes, sir.
What happened after that?
After that, he asked me what I had been told, and we conferred about what the complainant had told him and figured out that there was some similarities in the talk, but there was a lot missing.
Okay. What did you do after that?
Went back to the defendant and started talking again, asking what else had happened.
Okay. And after obtaining that additional statement from the...
May we approach?
Yes.
All right. Now I can not get a headache. This officer is doing a great job. He's doing a great job.
I got a stubby little pencil.
That's Mr. Frog. He heard you. He heard that, smiled. He thought that was funny. This officer is a detective on the force because he has been there long enough that they made him a detective. Apparently, it's like an automatic promotion.
Have them send someone with more experience.
What are you telling the witness?
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
What are you whispering to the witness?
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Jacobs, after you obtained that second statement from the defendant, what was your next step in the course of you being there?
He made sure that Officer Hernandez had heard it, and then he contacted the follow-up detective to tell them what had happened.
At any point, did you enter the residence of the address that you responded to?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So we talked on the front porch.
Did you ever come into contact with the complainant in this case?
No, sir. Not until later on, until he actually came back to the house.
Okay. All right. So what happened then later on as you described? Can you tell the jury what happened?
Like when he came back?
What you did next in the course of your investigation there?
After we talked to her and they talked to the follow-up unit, we had the complainant come back. We had him sign a consent to search, and we went into the location to retrieve the weapons that were used in the crime.
In the crime? The alleged crime? Alleged crime. This is a slow developing case. We need to get to the spice counter.
I got a stubby little pencil.
Yeah, that's fine. Detective Jacobs, I'm handing you was pre-marked as Exhibit 3 for identification purposes. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
The consent to search.
How do you know it's a consent to search?
It has consent to search written right at the top, and it has our SAPD form on the bottom right. And it has the case number on the top right there.
Is it in the same, substantially the same condition as it was when, before I finish that question, who filled this form out?
Writing up top sort of looks like my information. My handwriting up here.
Sort of looks like me.
So you filled out part of it?
Yes, sir.
Did you fill
I
out the
could
whole
have
thing?
done it.
Just names, the case number, and my signature.
Okay. Is it, as you remember at that time, with your information, the same, substantially the same condition as it was on the day of the incident?
Yes, sir.
To your knowledge, has this document been altered in any way?
Not to my knowledge. It looks like everything good.
Thank you. I'm going to tender to defense and offer into evidence at this time, State Exhibit 3 for identification purposes, for any objection.
Do we object about
We've
this
had
one?
a chance to review. We have no objections to State's Exhibit 3, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibit number 3 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Consent to search granted. You now want into the residence. Tell us about what you found and where you found it. Ooh, we have a bag. We have an evidence bag with tape. Do we have gloves? Does the jury get the gun and the knife?
May I approach the witness again, Your Honor?
Yes.
I take that I'm handing you what has been pre-marked as State Exhibit 4 for identification purposes. Do you recognize what this is?
Yes, sir.
How do you recognize it?
I packaged it up.
Okay. Have you had a chance to view what's in this?
Not since I packaged it up, sir. No, sir. That's the same. That's my handwriting on the front.
Okay.
My initials after I sealed it.
Any guesses on the
since you
the knife
packaged it
type?
up, is it in the same or essentially the same condition as it was on the day of the incident?
Here, sir.
Your knowledge, has that been altered in any way?
Not that I can tell.
Do you recall where you first saw what's State Exhibit number 4?
I believe it was in the kitchen, on the countertop.
And what did you do when you saw it?
Stayed there until we photographed it and did our usual collection with it.
Okay. How do you know that what's in that bag is the exact same item that you saw at the house?
I don't, sir, unless I open it.
Would you please go ahead and do so?
How do you know that's the right one? No clue. Let's see, let's see what he does. What's he got in his back pocket? Oh, he's got gloves. Gloves in his back pocket. A glove, 2 gloves. Keep them back there for sanitary reasons.
I don't know if you have to lie, but fine.
Bring your own gloves to work day. BYOG.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Do you have a poll on his sentence? Well,
Can I have parties approach?
Yes, sir.
Or
Judge,
you open?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge calls an audible. Says,
What more do you need to see?
don't open the weapon yet. Frog's going to be sentenced for the crime he was found guilty of. Then, of course, I think there's probably an absconding. There's got to be a charge related to just leaving court and not coming back. That's not. I don't think that's handled in the same one. So that will happen. But his original trial wasn't it like a traffic infraction, driving without a license, third offense, something like that. Oftentimes it's just a fine. He has no money because he spends all his money on his dogs, which is great. And his car, which is the 2012 Honda, which is the park and ride lot, stall 7B with 2 devices in it. That would be a shame if they were stolen.
Okay.
Okay, he's going to proceed just off camera, opening whatever it is. We think it's a knife.
We open it all.
Just open it enough so you can see what it is and make sure it's the same one. We have to be able to see this one. Does look like there's a cardboard wrapped around the blade. Small blade, possibly steak knife might be right. Wasn't the kitchen where, steak knives are kept.
Need more than that?
For now, as you see, this detective is at the same knife that you collected into evidence on the day of the incident.
Here, so, sir.
You may go ahead and remove the sheath.
You mean now unsheath the knife?
The knife, to your knowledge, and seeing it now that you collected into evidence on the day of the incident.
Yes.
How did you go about retrieving this knife after you collected it into evidence?
How did I go about what?
Retrieving the knife after you collected it into evidence that day. How did it come into the court?
Called the property room, the San Antonio property room, gave them the case number, went down there right before court, and told them they have a list of all the evidence that's per case. Give them the case number. They say, what do you need from the case? You tell them, I needed all the evidence, and they present it to you based upon case number. Here they are.
When you mentioned the property room earlier, is that where the knife originally went after the day when you took it into custody?
Yes.
When did you take it to the property
room? That night.
So to your knowledge, has it been in the property room since the day of the incident up until now?
To my knowledge, yes, sir.
Yes.
I was hoping to see the knife a little better. They can pass it around to the jury.
Can we approach real quickly, man?
Yes.
We should have counted sidebars. We're still getting to the juicy bits. I really wonder if that QR code will work. Let's see. I've got to hurry while it's still big on my screen. Just not quite in focus enough for me. Can't quite get the Wi-Fi password. Barb, yes, this is a live trial, but we're catching up on what happened yesterday. It hasn't started yet today. This is a think before you cheat trial. The husband accused of cheating, the wife accused of threatening the husband with a knife and a gun when she found out the husband was cheating. So we'll see where this one goes. Password is Davy Crockett or Daniel Boone. I think the password is Texas is best. PCA is a probable cause affidavit. How is this more than a one-day trial? A couple things, Amanda. This court is a very busy court. Judge Boyd has a full docket, and she will, when she does have a case that needs to go to trial, she'll schedule it usually for half days. So in the morning, she'll be working her regular docket. People first, arraignments, parole violations, all that sentencing, all those things will happen. And then in the afternoon, she'll say, okay, clear out because we've got a court case happening.
And defense, you may move about the courtroom.
Yes, sir.
You may now feel free to move about the cabin. Just keep your voice up so we don't have to crank the volume. The cop's like, what are you doing with that knife? You're too close to me.
This time, Your Honor, say we're offering to evidence State Exhibit 4, 4A, 4B, and 4C.
Defense has no objections, Your Honor.
All right, and for the records, State's Exhibit 4 is the package, and 4A, 4B, and 4C are the contents?
Correct.
All right, then State's Exhibits 4, 4A, 4B, 4C is admitted without objection.
And just for clarification of the record, while 4A is the package, 4A, 4B, and 4C refer to the cardboard wrapping, the case of the knife, and the knife itself. That was within package 4.
The case, like a hunting knife?
Yeah, proceed, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, approach the witness.
Yes.
Mr. Jacob, I'm handing you the pre-marked State Exhibit 5 for identification purposes. Do you recognize what this is?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
I packaged it. Or
When did you package it?
same night as I packaged the knife.
Okay, what happened after you packaged the gun or the contents of
the gun?
What's the pre-marked State Exhibit
I mean,
5?
this.
Made it safe, and after I photographed it at the scene, made it safe, photographed some more, and then took it down to the property room.
To your knowledge, before today, did it remain in the property room the entire time?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do to go about getting it out of the property room?
Same process as I did the knife.
And is that how it came into the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if you would please go ahead and open State Exhibit number 5.
All right. I'm going to just guess that the gun is a Ruger P95 9mm. Semi-automatic, polymer frame in stainless. You can put your guesses in chat if you'd like. Thinking it's a 9. It's got to be a 9. Unless it was her gun. And then a lot of times ladies carry a lighter gun that's a little easier. Maybe like a 380.
Not just.
I would be a very terrible witness to introduce firearms to a jury.
Now, Detective Jacobs, you just opened what is in pre-marked State Exhibit 5 for investigation purposes, and you identified to the jury what is now pre-marked State Exhibit 5A and 5B.
Firearm, the pistol, a Kimber.
Kimber.
Was it Mako?
Kimber Custom? Is it 40?
Yeah, R7 Mako, 9mm.
9.
What's in the contents of 5A?
2 magazines and 20 rounds of Sig Sauer hollow point rounds.
Does what appears to be 5A the same thing you could collect into evidence the night of the incident?
Yes, sir. That's my handwriting outside of the bag.
If you guessed black
To your
one,
knowledge,
you were correct.
has either the envelope for 5A or the item of 5B been altered or amended in any way?
No, sir.
Does they appear to be in the same condition they were the night of the incident?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you please now open up what's been pre-marked Exhibit 5A?
R7 Mako.
I don't think you want all the rounds running around, do you?
That's fine.
No.
Could you describe to the jury, though, the 2 items that you pulled out? What are those?
2 magazines for that pistol.
What are magazines used for?
To hold rounds for that.
Was these the same 2 magazines that you took into evidence the day of the incident?
Yes, sir.
Could you please describe to the jury what is remaining within the contents of the envelope of Exhibit 5A?
20 rounds of 9mm Sig Sauer hollow point rounds.
Pull just one of them.
Leave it out.
You can put it. And here, at this time, our state will offer into evidence what has been pre-marked Exhibit 5, 5A, and 5B into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor. For clarification, are y'all going to mark the magazines as exhibits?
We probably should. Yes, I'm sorry.
And Your Honor, we have as 5B is the weapon. 5A is an envelope containing approximately 20 rounds of ammunition.
5C will be one.
I'm going to
magazine
show
and
you the
5D.
firearm really quickly.
And then 5C will be one magazine, 5D will be the other.
Right, so you're offering in evidence States Exhibit 5, 5A, 5B, and 5C?
And 5D as well, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, States Exhibits 5, 5A, 5B, 5C, and 5D is admitted without objection.
So this is a Kimber R7 Mako 9mm pistol. It is available in a couple
Now,
different color
Detective
configurations.
Jacobs, you described that while you were on the scene, you took photographs, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hollow points do make cause more damage on impact. They also don't go as deep. Like they won't go through too many people.
Do you recall what exactly you took photographs of?
The scene, victim and suspect, and the weapons, if I recall.
And what did you use to take these photographs?
A city-issued camera.
Is it the usual one that you have about when you're on patrol?
Yes, sir.
To your knowledge, was that camera operational and functional that day?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Those magazines can hold
after you took
10
the
to 15
photographs,
rounds.
what was the next course of step in your investigation while you were on the scene?
After you took all the photographs of everything, then it's collection of the evidence.
And when you say collection of the evidence, are you referring to the evidence that's before you right there?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do after you collected the evidence?
Back in my patrol car and drove downtown.
Okay. Where exactly downtown did you arrive at?
The property room at 401 South Frio.
What did you do when you arrived at the property room?
Packaged them up how they were and placed them in the lockers, secure lockers.
Okay, so they were not packaged ahead of time prior to your arrival at that location, correct? So how were the evidence transported that's in front of you from the scene to the location where you collected it into the envelopes?
By me. Back of my patrol car.
Back of your patrol car. Okay. Is there a secure location in the back of your patrol car where you keep this evidence, and what is that secure location, please?
In the back, the very back of the Explorers, had the cage and.
Well, I guess I'm sorry. That one might have been a vague question. What I'm trying to get at is, do you have like a container in the back that you keep the evidence in, or you just keep it just there in the back?
I have bags back there and I just put it back there. That way, it's not accessible to the public.
Just chuck it back there.
So
for the rest of my stuff.
When the evidence arrived to the property room, as you described earlier, it was within the bags that you had in the back of your patrol car, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you took the bags inside to the property room?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what did you do when you did that?
My standard processing that I was taught when I promoted to detective about how to make the firearm safe and packaging purposes.
By making
How do you
it
make
safe,
the firearm safe when you get to the property room?
make sure it's not loaded.
Make sure it's empty, unloaded, zip tie, and writing stuff on the bag, firearm made safe, and keeping the magazines and the rounds separate from the firearm.
Okay.
And the knife wrapped in cardboard.
You
Make sure it
mentioned
doesn't cut anybody.
Right, understood. You'd also mentioned the zip tie on the gun. What is the zip tie for?
To make sure anybody looking at it knows that it can't be fired and that it's made safe.
Okay, so that's to prevent someone from pulling the trigger, essentially?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, they can pull the trigger, but it's a dead trigger.
It won't do anything, correct? Okay. Do you recall who you gave it to that day when you finished packaging all the evidence?
We have lockable lockers at the property room, and when you're all said and done, you have everything packaged up and your label made with the case number and all that stuff. Then you put it into the lockers, you close it, and you lock it. Nobody has access to that other than the property room staff.
Okay. Is there a way to keep record of anyone who wants to access any type of evidence in the property room that you're aware of?
I don't know their process, sir. No, sir.
To your knowledge, other than you putting it into evidence that day, has anyone viewed this evidence before?
I noticed a sign on here from NIBIN, which means it was looked at by NIBIN with the department to make sure they're the ones that make sure it's not a gun used in another crime somewhere else. But other than that, it's exact same packaging of.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
That Kimber, cost-wise, American dollars, about
I'm handing you what is
$220.
pre-March 6 Exhibit 6 through 34 for identification purposes. Could you please look through these and tell me if you recognize them?
Yep. Or 500, depending on the range. So, sorry, I was looking at the add-on kit. $220 for the add-on kit. $500 for the pistol. Kimbers are nice, a pretty nice gun. Good workmanship. Yes, I don't know. Does other than California might ban hollow points, but pretty much every state.
Yes, sir. Remember these.
Law enforcement uses them.
To your knowledge, are these the photographs that you took on the night of the incident?
Yes, sir.
And I know there's quite a few. I don't think it's necessary to go through each one individually, but could you please describe to the jury generally what is contained in these photographs, please?
Start with a photo board, address, case number, my name, badge, camera I use, district.
Your Honor, before he publishes to the jury, I'm fine with him answering what they are generally, but the defense would like to inspect them before they're admitted or published.
Thank you. So don't show the photos to the jurors until I announce that they've been admitted to evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So just looking at the photographs yourself and not letting the jury see, can you just describe in general, as I mentioned, what 6 through 34 contain, please?
Photo board, pictures of the knife, pictures of the firearm. Looks like exhibit 10 here is the victim's forearm, victim's forehead, where the knife was located in the kitchen, the gun after it was removed from
He's just so excited to
where
testify.
it was placed, the kitchen where the offense apparently took place. And then after I pulled the fire, what number did you say? 30, did all of them?
All of them, if you don't mind.
Okay, then the firearm after I removed it, after I took pictures in its initial state, after I unloaded the magazines, the kitchen area again, victim's body part, the knife, more pictures of the kitchen knife, more pictures of the kitchen, the gun, the address of the house.
It's like the most casual
victim space
foundation I've ever seen for photos.
The knife.
You usually hear
that seems to be it.
It's a little wider shot of the scene. This is the wider
Do these
shot
fairly
showing
and
this
accurately
angle.
depict the pictures that you took this day?
Yes, sir.
To your knowledge, have these photographs been altered or amended in any way?
No, sir.
All right, this time, State Law Center evidence is exhibit 6 through 34 for identification purposes, and we'll tend it to defense for any objection.
Husband allegedly was the one.
Just a
that was,
moment, Your Honor, briefly.
Yes.
had a little side action going on. Just flipping through like a Sears catalog. Yeah, we don't get to see the photos, unfortunately, in this court, but we can make them up. If we know, if they're described, I'm going to do what I can and show you like this. This is not the actual gun. Like, it's possible the gun that she had didn't have like the hollow sight there on the top. It would have just been more traditional with tritium sights like they normally are. But I told you $220 is the cost of the extra magazines. If you get like 3 15-round magazines and 1 13-round magazine with it and a belt holster, it's $220 for that. This gun, I've seen prices as low. I think Bass Pro Shops has one of them for about $380. It's optics ready, meaning it doesn't have any optics on it, and then some of them can go as high as about $700 for.
Your Honor, to the extent only possible objection the defense may have is 7 and 8 appear to be duplicates of the same photo.
All right, if I could see the exhibits, please.
Duplicative.
Oh, the entire unit. Thank you.
Judge says, I want to see the pictures. Fun fact, I have the uncanny ability of being able to set two things side by side, like images
All right,
like
if
this.
I could have parties approach.
Cross my eyes until the two images merge into one, and then by slightly moving my head back and forth, any differences in the picture jump out. It makes it really easy to tell if they're identical or not. Being able to focus on that third image that's created by each individual picture, it's a skill. I just look funny doing it. That little black device on the cop's pocket there is an Axiom.
So defense, you're withdrawing your objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any other objections from the defense?
The pictures are different.
No, Your Honor. No objections as to the photographs.
All right, then States Exhibits 6 through 34 are admitted without objection.
4:30 tonight, Eastern Time for AUG. So they're going to be one of the last things we do today. Stick around for that.
At this time, state will pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Detective. How are you doing today?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Ayden. I'm a defense attorney. I have a few questions for you. If at any time I'm confusing or I go too fast or you don't understand what I'm asking, just let me know and I can rephrase for you, all right?
Will do, sir.
All right. Just to recap, I know we went through a lot of the background. How long have you been a police officer total?
Over 18 years, sir.
18 years. All right. In that time, you've responded, is it safe to say, to thousands of calls?
Pretty safe to say yes, sir.
All right. You said that you were a detective, but correct me if I'm wrong in the characterization. You wear a uniform and you're in the field. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So in
Some
only.
detectives are behind the scenes doing you're out, I guess, in the trenches with all the other guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The state showed you some photographs that evening. If you know, how many photographs did you take?
Says on my report, 90 photographs.
Okay, so quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
All right. And is that normal for a call to get out, document, photograph everything?
Better to have too many so than not have enough.
I agree. You said that you took photos of the complaining witness. Did you take any photographs of the suspect that night, of Miss Rodriguez?
I believe I did, sir.
Okay.
He already knew the answer.
Just one moment, sir. Oh, here it is. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Here's the pictures of the complaining witness.
So, Detective, I'm going to show you two photographs, and if you can tell me, if you know, did you take these photos?
Why, yes, I
Very
did.
so.
Okay. And if you
Sure
know, what are
enough.
those photographs of?
The suspect?
Okay. I'm going to mark these as defense exhibits 1 and 2 and offer them to evidence, pending any objections by the state, Your Honor.
Oh, Ninas. You got a 5070 Ti, 16 gigabyte. Oh, that's
No
nice.
objection from the state, Your Honor.
All right, defense exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted without objection.
I'm guessing you're not just running Farming Simulator on that card, are you? What's I mean, not I like Farming Simulator. What are you playing with the card that powerful? Anything you want, but
I'm going to hand you back. These have been admitted. Taking a look at defense exhibit number 1. What are we looking at here, sir?
Looks like a side view of the suspect.
Side view of the suspect. Okay. And you see what color pants she's wearing?
Yes, sir. Looks like floral.
Like a blue and
Floral,
pattern?
maybe yoga pants. I don't know.
There you go. Okay. I'll get back to us. I understand. Do you see anything on her arm?
Maybe a little bit of redness, maybe.
Above her elbow. Do you see a Band-Aid?
I do.
Okay. Did you talk to her that evening, inquire about anything, or were you there on more of a, well, when you're photographing, was it she was being silent to be photographed, or were you asking her about anything, or no?
No, I'm pretty sure she was silent when I was photographing her.
I understand. Let's look at defense exhibit number 2. Kind of, yeah, there we go. What are we looking at here?
The insides of her hands.
Okay. And why do you photograph insides of hands?
I do basically the same for family violence every time.
And why is that?
To be consistent, sir.
To be consistent?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything specifically you're looking at when you're trying to photograph hands?
Anything on the hands, or I do also fingers to see about anything on the fingers.
All right. In this photo, do you see anything on her hands?
That would be her. It looks like there's something on, maybe something on her inside of her left hand.
Okay. Would you categorize this as red spots?
That's fair.
Possible that's blood?
Objection to speculation, Your Honor.
That'll be, just a second. That'll be overruled. You can answer the question if you know.
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. Okay. Could it be blood?
Objection to speculation, Your Honor.
That will be sustained.
Yeah, that was because he doesn't know. Do you have your pictures back?
Did you ask her about anything that you saw on her hands that evening?
Not reviewing my actual body cam footage, sir, I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's almost been 2 years.
I understand completely. Your Honor, may we publish these to the jury?
Yes.
Show and tell, passed around the jury. Farming Simulator is a computer game designed to emulate the work that goes on a generally large-scale farm. Its main focus is machinery, both all the way up through silos and storage bins.
Detective, just a few more questions, and then we'll pass you on. I know you were there photographing. You took photographs of the firearm that evening, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you know, where was the firearm and the knife actually when you went into the house? Were they in a drawer, on a cabinet? If you know.
I believe the knife was in a drawer in the kitchen. And I believe the knife was, I'm sorry, the firearm was in a cabinet in the kitchen.
Okay. So when it was photographed, if you know, did you, well, you would know this, did you retrieve the weapon from the cabinet, referring to the firearm?
Without reviewing my body cam footage, sir, it's been 2 years.
Sir, and I understand.
I don't remember.
No, it's fine. But at some point, the weapon made it down onto the countertop, and that's where it's photographed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you're not sure if it was on the countertop when you went into the house or if it was in the cabinet?
I don't remember exactly, sir. No.
Okay. Officer, thank you very much. Your Honor, we'll pass this witness.
All right, State.
Thank you. Detective, you were asked by the defense attorney on cross-examination about, asking about the victim's hands and whatnot. Of the defendant's hands. Is it your job when you're in scene to obtain full statements of all parties involved?
No, sir.
Whose job would that be?
The follow-up detective.
Okay. So is essentially your job in your position with SCPD to arrive and collect evidence, take photographs, things like that?
Yes, sir. To collect evidence, take photographs, and then everything else is for patrolmen to go talk to the follow-up detective on.
Okay. You were asked by defense about where the firearm and the knife were located. There were other officers on scene, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you didn't take it out of the drawer or the cabinet, could other officers have placed it there on the counter?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Yep.
To the best of your knowledge, did you photograph the knife and the firearm in positions that they were in when you entered the residence?
Absolutely, sir.
Did you move them about any time before you photographed them?
The initial photographs, no, sir.
After you took the initial photographs, did you move about the knife and the firearm?
Yes, sir.
Where did you move them?
To the back of my patrol car.
Okay. And then, as you testified earlier, from there, you just took it down to the SCPD property room, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ivan, we all play Tax Simulator every April 15th. Yes, if you see somebody playing a game that's driving a tractor and harvesting a field or planting or fertilizing, it's probably Farming Simulator. It is an incredibly fun game. to play with friends. That's is extremely monotonous to do on your
No
own.
further questions. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Very briefly, Your Honor. Detective, is it in your duties to swab for blood or collect fingerprints at a crime scene?
I can, yes.
You can. Did you swab for blood or fingerprints that evening?
Nope.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
At least the swabbing part.
All right. One moment.
There's some people who play Farming Simulator who have like a setup, a control setup with a steering wheel and gear shifters and buttons.
Is there any
for the
reason
tractor.
why you didn't swab or test for presumptive presence of blood on the defendant's hands?
No, sir.
Okay. Now we'll pass the witness.
If you had any inclination that that type of evidence should be collected, would that have been in part of your normal duties and responsibilities?
Yes, sir.
What would lead you to want to collect DNA swabs, bloods, evidence, fingerprints, things like that?
When I'm asked to?
Who would you be asked to by that?
The fall detective.
Did you get any indication from the fall detective to collect that type of evidence?
No, sir.
Okay.
Defense attorney's
Pass
an
the witness,
email,
Your
sir.
Honor.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
We ask that he be subject to recall.
All right, you may step down. Just make sure you're available if either party wishes to recall
Funny,
you.
the witness has a visitor
And if you will
badge
leave
on.
the exhibits with the court reporter, please.
I'll help.
He's a visitor in court. It's like, yeah, I'm a visitor. I've checked in. Literally, he's
If you don't mind, please, yeah.
in the city that he is a sworn police officer in a court, in a law enforcement related building, and he's wearing a visitor badge, which is funny. Yes, everybody has to check in. Farming Simulator available on PC through Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. I prefer the PC version, but I don't currently have a PC to play it. It's a game that my kids really enjoy, but I have to use an emulator to let them play it, which is not very good. I have to get them a PC eventually. And when I do, 5070 Ti, that's a great graphics card. Kept his gloves on. They're his. He's going to put them back in his pocket when he's done. Let's see if he throws them away. Yeah. It's like, man, my hands are sweaty now. My knees are weak.
All right, state, call your next witness.
Will you approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Wow. Wild, the approaches. He's looking at his watch. That's a bad sign. It's a bad sign when you look at your watch. I play GTA RP, and everyone talks about lagging, and I'm like, hey, I have no lag. Hey. Bravo check. Interesting. GTA RP. Are you on the cop side or the... Usually when I see GTA RP, they're talking about officers. Are you on the law enforcement side or are you on the rebel side? Stealing cars and all. I've watched a few of those videos. So many sidebars, so many.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We're going to recess at this point. These are my instructions. Follow my instructions to the letter. Do not deviate from these instructions. So we're going to be back tomorrow at 1:30 to resume this trial. Now, the parking spaces. If you arrive here by 12:30, you'll probably be able to get a parking space because many times people who work in this building leave, I call it leaving campus or going off campus for lunch. If you try to come in exactly at 1:15 or 1:20, you may not be able to have a parking space because that's when everybody comes back because every other court usually starts their afternoons at 1:30. The same number of jurors who came up with you in the central jury room, those are the same number of jurors that will be here tomorrow, and they're looking for parking spaces as well. You do not have to do any investigation on this case. Do not do any investigation on this case. Do not Google anybody's name. Do not look at anything. Do not even think about this case other than when you are in the courtroom. You are not to do your own investigation work. Everything that you're to know about this case is to come from inside this courtroom and nowhere else. Does everyone understand? The deputy is going to make sure that you all have official badges saying that you're jurors of the 187 District Court. Make sure that you wear those at all times when you're in the courthouse, or even when you're walking around downtown, because sometimes, parties, you may be seated, because sometimes
Please be seated.
Attorneys may be speaking about a case. Sometimes people want to talk to witnesses briefly. And if they see you have your badge, they'll know that you're a juror and they probably shouldn't be talking around you about anything. So it's just to make sure that everybody knows that you're a juror. This courtroom, some people say it's too cold. I think it's a pleasant temperature. There is a thermostat behind me.
You're the one wearing the robe, though.
If it would make you all feel better, I can get up. I can pretend to lower, or raise the number. Let me just tell you that thermostat doesn't work. I'm not in charge of the thermostat. It's just there. It's a placebo. But if you ever want me to touch it, you just say, Judge, could you work with the thermostat? We don't complain about it being too cold in here, because at one point in time, it would get to be 89, 90 degrees in here. So you can bring whatever jacket you want to bring. I know the chairs are uncomfortable. I'm slowly working on trying to get pillows for every chair. If you want to bring a pillow from home, you're more than welcome to do so. With regards to drinks, you're allowed to bring drinks in, but make sure it has a top on it. We try to keep the rug as clean as possible, and that will protect from spillages. Sometimes jurors they want to take notes. Does you no good to take notes, and this is why. Because if you're taking notes, that means that you're not actively listening and paying attention to the witnesses. Also, if you take notes and during deliberations, somebody wants to know what someone said, you're not allowed to have your notes, because the official keeper of the record and what people said, if you don't remember something, is the court reporter. So you won't be able to pull out your notes anyway.
I disagree with this one on the judge.
People believe that this trial may be concluded by Friday. As I said before, at the latest Monday. Does everyone understand? All right, the deputy is going to make sure that he gets everyone's number so that we'll have your number and you will have our number as well.
Because he's single and looking.
We cannot start at 1:30 unless everybody is here at 1:30. Does everyone understand? Wow. All right, any questions before I send you back with the deputy? Okay, Jess, we're going down the row. All right, we can go off the record. Yes, back row, what's your question? Oh, they're going to give it to the court reporter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other question?
Are we starting 1:30 on Friday also?
No, Friday we're going to start at 9. And Friday there are no other jurors called up. So you'll have parking. Yes. Yes. And you cannot be fired from your by your employer because you're on jury duty. Okay. Now, the other thing, when you meet here tomorrow at 1:30, you will not meet in the hallway. You will not meet in this courtroom. You're going to meet in the jury room. The deputy will show you where that is. In the jury room, there's a refrigerator, there's a toaster oven, there is a microwave. You're more than welcome to bring your lunch, bring your breakfast. No one will touch it, except maybe one of you, if one of you wants to touch it, but no one else will touch it, okay?
Bring your air
All right,
fryer.
any other questions? Yes.
Great question.
We don't do weekends unless you all want to do weekends. So just let me know. All right. Anything else? Remember, yes.
Just curious. What it was you're sipping something with?
Oh, so anyway, that's the court reporter, and she is a voice recorder. So even though she's a voice recorder, everything that she's doing, everything that everyone is saying, she keeps everything. All right. Is there anything else? All right. So the deputy will show you to the back. Make sure you give him a number where you can be contacted. And on your badges, you'll have the court's number.
Your Honor, did the defense exhibits make it to the?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the reason why we can't just fast forward to the next witness is because they have not begun yet today.
All right.
We've got a little bit of time. It's probably going to be right after lunch before we
No. All right.
start. Who's that?
Everyone, please
these are
be
the students.
seated. That's fine. That's okay. So,
Can I sit on the bench?
when do you all expect to rest?
I would think that we can do all the witnesses and rest our case in chief tomorrow. We'll have witnesses, but I would imagine we could probably do closing arguments Friday morning.
All right. So how long are you expecting your witnesses to take tomorrow? How many more witnesses do you have for tomorrow?
Just
Three. So I'm assuming complainant
and two officers.
and two officers. All right. So if you all have witnesses, will you be able to have them here by tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So let's just plan on your having your witnesses here by tomorrow. If something happens, then we'll take your witnesses Friday.
Got a lot going on
But
today.
I try to have closing arguments in the morning so that the jurors
We
can
know she's wrapping up
concentrate
here.
all day.
Let me cut really quickly.
Okay.
To a
All
court
right,
of
is there
appeals
anything
going
else?
on in Arizona right now. Oh, that's not it.
And counsel, we found the,
Oh, my goodness, thank you.
yes, so we'll make sure it stays in the freezer. And it does have a band on the back.
Yeah.
So,
It helps, the ice numbs it.
okay. Well, when you need it, just go in the back. It'll be in the
Here we
freezer.
go. Okay, thank you. This court of appeals going on right now. We're not going to stick with this one, but you just tell me if it looks like the judge on the far left, right above me, right up here, takes a shot of something mid argument. Okay, just watch.
And audio recorded. They are being live streamed. So please, as you come up to the podium,
Bottoms
identify
up.
yourself and your client
That's a
so we
little-
know who's speaking and so the folks who are
I'm
observing.
sorry, I just saw that and thought it looks like he just took a quick shot of whiskey or something. Yeah. Anyway, he's thirsty. He's thirsty. It burns going down, right? Let's see. Why the little cup? Why the little glass? Why didn't you like lick the wrist or what's the vodka? It was clear. Yeah. Dayquil maybe. Bad day at court. Some days. Anyway, all right. So here we are. It's 11:25. We can either do a tiny bit of court hopping and look around a little bit because we've got a couple courts that are in session that we can watch. I think actually Judge Boyd is live right now with. I think she's live doing her regular docket stuff. Like this is where we're going to be going back after lunch. But this is regular docket.
It'll have to be in the afternoon then. Oh, no, it can't be. I'm so sorry. We're in a jury trial.
Yeah, that's the jury trial we're
I'll
coming
try to
back
see
to.
if he can just be here with it. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, can it be here or is it phone?
Well, actually, I guess it works on Mondays. It's Tuesday.
Anyway, so we're going to come back to that after lunch when the jury trial continues. We've got a little bit of time. We could do some court hopping, or we can take a long lunch. Red Pen has opted for a long lunch. Red Pen, that's fine. You can do that. I don't hold that against you at all. We do have a couple. We've got Judge Bryant, who's active right now. We've got Judge McNally, who's
25F 244 665
giving out bench warrants.
Fields who appeared. We're going to issue a show cause on that. That's a retail fraud. Against Kevin. Oh, and also he has 25F 244 773. He didn't show on that either. Mr. Taiji didn't. So we're going to issue a show cause on that.
Just throws the papers on his desk.
Rakeem Deshaun Gadsden. 25F 244.
Nobody's in his courtroom.
729. Defendant failed to appear for show cause. He also failed to previously appear for arraignment and pretrial. Warrant to issue on this. Bond to be forfeited. 3,010% will be the new bond. 3,010% will be the new bond.
He's like, who are you?
I couldn't get any
Anyway, we've got him, McNally. Let's see who else is active. Kentucky 40th.
Building date's July of 2026, so I assume they must have flopped. That's the reason he filed this motion. I don't know, or if that's when his first parole eligibility date is. So,
Counsel, what do you know about that?
Well, I don't know if he's been flopped before. I know his parole date is in 2026, July 21st, his parole eligibility.
That's probably correct, because he's only got 10 months and 7 days in. I guess my question would be, where's Mr. Smith going to live? Is he going to have a job? What's his plan for treatment or anything?
Yeah, and he's willing to do, inpatient, long-term
I'm
rehab.
sure he'd do anything to get out. The question is, where is he going to live? And what's he going to do? He's got a job. And he's going to continue to sell drugs. That's his main identification.
Well, I know he wants to get a hold of his substance abuse issue. And Mr. Smith, where is it that you're going to live?
My mother, Tammy Pruitt's house. Yeah.
This is Kentucky. We don't get
That's still not telling me anything. What's his plans? If he got a job?
Got a job lined up?
Yes, sir.
Tell us something. I don't want to be like pulling teeth from you here, man. Where you going to live with your mother, and now you got a job lined up? Who's it with? What kind of? Tell me something.
I got a couple of leads on some jobs. I can go to the logwoods, or I can work for my cousin doing concrete. I have a guy in Bowling Green I can work for doing framing houses. Just depends on what kind of treatment I have to do.
Here's what I'm going to take this motion under advisement, and I want you to have your attorney provide the Commonwealth with a pattern of conduct that you're going to do, where you're going to work, what you're going to do, where you're going to live, that sort of thing. And I'll take it under advisement and render a decision before the next rule day. Okay. And the next rule day is October the 23rd. And after council, if you and the Commonwealth can't reach an agreement on this, then we'll have a hearing for you on the 23rd. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. There's no one else there at Hardin County. Hardin County may be released and you're being sued. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the Luther Luckett. Is Luther Luckett on there?
Hang on. I just got a text message that's a scam.
Luther Luckett, are you?
I just got a text message that's a scam. It says, and I quote, this is from somebody I've never heard from before. I can't wait to be wrapped up in your arms again, missing you. So my response is, I miss my arms. We'll see what they say. These are scams. I get these all the time. Hey, are we still on for golf tomorrow? I haven't miniature golfed since I don't know when, and I've never actually golfed on a golf course, like a true golf course. I've never done that in my life. Never carried a golf bag. I've done a pitch and putt. That's as close as I get. But we'll see if they respond. I'm going to give them a sob story about how I miss having arms. Hopefully no offense is taken by anyone who might not have arms. I'm not trying to point fun at that. These scams are just like too much. I spit out my coffee. I'm sorry. This is how my brain works. All right, Kentucky, that's some pretty heavy accents there. Let's see. We have anyone else who's live right now? Judge McBurney was doing some pretrial stuff. Did McBurney fix his audio? Let me check really quickly.
That means it's time to tired.
We'll skip forward a bit.
Copy of the witness list, Ms. Fagan?
It's a tiny bit better, but it's...
We'll get you a copy in a moment. Hopefully there are not any names on there that are surprises to you. I don't have a witness list from the defense. Other than Mr. Tewitt, is there anyone why don't you flip through that list first? I just need to know if there are other names I need to qualify the jury with.
Okay, that's some pretrial work he was doing this morning. Let's see, Judge Raquel West, she was live last night. Who else is up? And Not sure if we got anybody. That one will get us a hit. Judge Wolf. Josh, you sent us something, right? Zach says, Ari, you aren't supposed to publicize my text to you. Hey, at least I didn't give out your number, which ends in 336. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I won't give out their number, even though it's a scammer. YouTube doesn't like it. Let's see. Judge Wolf. Josh, you said you sent me something, right? Sorry, let me take a quick peek. This was from... Judge Wolf. You said we'll recognize the guy. Let me find Judge Wolf. And it was from 9/29/25. 9/29/25 Dickerson VOP. Oh, that's the one I was on. 4 hour 45-minute mark. That's a long one. He does long days in court. Let's jump down to Judge Wolf really quickly and see.
The lawyer.
We've got about a minute or so before it gets to our defendant.
Reese, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be in front of me, does it? You can put him in front of Judge Wallace on his VOP day if you want. He's not doing the status anyway. Set it in front of Judge Turnbow.
Give it to some other judge.
Judge up next is Sri Gavana.
Who? This isn't in custody, right? Why, yes, it is. Welcome,
Mr.
good
Vaughn, you are,
aspiring lawyer.
Here today. We've got a set of sentencing hearing in your case that you went to trial on the other day. Usually it takes about 45 days for a pre-sentence report to be concluded.
I got some motions here to file with you today.
Pardon?
I got some motions to file with you here today.
Okay.
I got a copy for the state too, unless you want to get my copy.
Are these regarding the case that you went to trial, or are they?
Yes, sir.
They are? All right. And hand those to the clerk. Let him follow with the clerk. Right. After those motions he's filed are marked filed, let me take a look at it. Let me ask this. I haven't seen the motions that you filed in this case that you went to trial on last week. You have 3 additional cases that we need to set, one of those at least for trial. As I explained to you, we cannot set all 3 of them to be tried in the same term of court. They have to be tried by separate jury pools because it's not fair to you to have the same jury be aware that they try one case and they come back and try another case. They would have a preconceived idea.
Well, we still can't go to trial on them. We ain't even had a suppression hearing.
Understand. Well, I'm going to give you a date for a suppression hearing motion, and I'm going to give you a trial date. But need to determine what these motions are.
This aspiring young lawyer with a rap sheet longer than his resume.
All right, the first motion is to motion to withdraw your guilty plea, and that's the guilty plea that you entered at trial for the driver going to revoke license.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
You have a motion to continue the sentencing hearing, and you want time to prepare some preservable rights for appeal.
Yes, sir.
The delay is requested to receive a transcript. And the last one is a motion to compel evidence.
Yes, sir.
These are all good motions. Like valid motions. They might not be granted, but they're valid.
The last one is a motion to compel evidence. Well, not the last one, but you have a motion to compel evidence where you're requesting that YouTube videos be made available on USB or playable DVD, CD from the date of your arraignment to date. Number one, YouTube videos are not the property of this court or the state. They are something that's been publicly disseminated. You're available to access those at any point you want. I'll have to consider whether or not you're entitled to have them downloaded and onto a CD or DVD.
Yes, sir. Due to my circumstances being incarcerated, I figured the courts can compel and assist me in getting that. That's why I placed that motion in.
Motion to request transcript and all judgment papers filed into the case to date by compelment.
Oh, yes, sir. I've had previous motions asking for the paperwork filed into this case previously. They have been unheard. They have not been served or answered or any response to it. So I'm requesting compelment.
Compelment.
Compelment to service of a motion. He still has his elbow counsel with him. He pled guilty to something.
Well, I'm going to have to set, this is a day that was not designed for your case to be heard on all these motions that you just filed today. So I'll have to find a day to set these motions. And since the majority of them deal with your 336 case that you went to trial on last week, except for the last one, I think they all
of them's on that together. I believe today the withdrawal for guilty plea and the motion to continue can be heard, Your Honor.
No, I'm not going to hear it today.
Okay.
Because we don't have time. We're going to have to set a special hearing on it. Your motion to withdraw a guilty plea is something that obviously you pled guilty in front of a jury. And as a result of that, it's a little different than withdrawing your guilty plea at a different location. But I'll determine whether or not that is applicable. But the state has the right to have an opportunity to consider your motions. So we need to set a hearing date on those motions.
But that charge was dropped from the jury's consideration, so I don't think I think it's the same as any other time, because that charge has not been
prosecutor on the case, General Bryson.
Addressed.
October the 8th through the 10th, do you have anything that would prevent you from being able to argue these motions?
No, Judge, I should be available.
Let's set them on the 8th. All right. This is on, well, he has, yes, it's on 336, but he's also included the docket numbers on his other cases on the motions to compel evidence, the motion for request of a transcript and judgment papers filed into the case to date by compelment.
We watched a couple on this guy, including the full trial.
Judge, actually, could I have it on the 9th instead of the 8th? I do have a personal matter on the 8th.
All right, 9th it is.
Your Honor, I can't be present on the 9th if I'm needed anyway. I understand I'm still.
You say you can't?
I can't. I've got, actually, the 8th through the 10th are pretty bad for me.
What about the 10th?
The 9th is undoable, so if I have to, the 8th.
I'm sorry, the 9th what?
I can't do the 9th. All 3 of those days are bad for other cases and other reasons, but I don't know to the extent that I'm needed.
I'm going to set it for the 9th. As advisory counsel for the trial, I think your role has pretty much been exhausted since the trial has been concluded. The only question is going to come up is the question of whether or not his motion to withdraw the guilty plea is going to have any other basis that you might be concerning about. So,
And Your Honor, just as far as, in case I'm not able to be here, as far as the motion to request the transcripts, I think we did lodge an order and Your Honor signed an order for transcripts. So Madam Court Reporter, I believe, has that order.
Can I get a copy of that, please?
Am I a copy of the order?
Yeah.
Oh, we can get a copy of the order. Yes.
Yeah.
okay. We'll see you at 9 o'clock on October the 9th. And we'll hear all your motions on that day.
All right.
Well, mark your calendar. We've got a week.
We will set the sentencing hearing date on October the 9th to be in the future. It won't be on October 9th, it'll be on the future. Obviously, I've got to hear his motion to withdraw his guilty plea on the driving on revoked license before I make a determination. What about what? We're going to put them all on the 9th of October. We will assign a trial date on those on that day.
Judge picks the date where his elbow counsel is not available. Wow.
Mr. Vaughn, come back to the stand just for a moment, please.
Everyone walks backwards.
I just want to clarify and make sure you have 3 remaining cases that have not yet been assigned for trial. Now, I'm going to look at those on the 9th, but you have a charge of aggravated assault using a deadly weapon, 2 counts of reckless endangerment, and a possession of a firearm by a felon. That's the next case up.
Those are
as well as
some light
case,
charges.
Driving on revoked license, 3rd offense, resisting a stop, frisk, halt, arrest, and retaliation for. Actually, that's the one that went to trial for sentencing. I'm sorry. The other one is assault, simple assault, false imprisonment, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication, and then you have a failure to appear.
Did he miss any?
You had represented yourself through the trial on the first case, and I granted you elbow counsel or assistant advisory counsel, but that is discretionary, and you're not entitled to that if you elect to represent yourself. So the question I have for you is, do you want to continue to represent yourself?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. He cuts the judge off.
He's free to go if he don't want to. If he can't do it, I understand completely.
He's not
I feel
being paid
comfortable
as
doing it.
advisory counsel. I'm not going to require him to continue.
That's fine.
All right, then we'll let you handle it from here on out.
Your Honor, I will see this case through, so he's familiar with the process.
All right.
The 336 case,
Well, these other additional 3 cases he's indicated he wants to represent himself, so he'll be allowed to represent himself. All right, thank you.
Elbow counsel working for free. He's actually sort of built a rapport up with the defendant and likes the dude. Likes him. Is sort of an underdog we've even cheered for him a little bit because he is doing better than any pro se ever in the history of pro se.
Inmate earlier, but on page 2, we have Eric Ollage and Toby Ollage.
A twofer?
And also on page 24, the same case with Jeffrey Petty. I've spoken with General Wojnarowski, and we're asking to set that on January 7th for status.
So both Aldridge, Eric Lee Aldridge and Toby Aldridge are on January 7th?
Correct.
And then on page 24, did you say?
On page 24 should be Mr. Jeffrey Petty.
24.
Yeah, we did watch that
Jeffrey
jury
Petty,
trial. He was found
January
guilty.
7th.
Yes, Judge.
January 7th.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so let me pause for a minute. That jury trial we watched, if you remember, he had the retaliation, threatening law enforcement, all that. We watched that case. It was going to be 2 in 1. He had the driving on suspended or revoked third offense charge as well. At the beginning of the trial, with the jury in the room, he pled guilty to that one, so it was dropped off consideration for the jury to be handled at a different date, and then they just had the second charge. Now he's found guilty on the second charge. He says, I'd like to change my plea on the first one that I pled guilty to in front of the jury. And the judge is like, I don't know. You told 12 of your peers you were dang guilty, and I'm just not sure if we're going to allow that. But I think the judge is incorrect in saying that it's different, that his change of plea motion is different because he had pled in front of a jury as opposed to pleading not in front of a jury. I don't think that jury didn't consider the case. They didn't say, well, he told us he was guilty, so we're going to say he's guilty. They didn't consider that charge at all. I think that still is a standalone. The judge still has some discretion whether or not he grants that motion, but I guess we'll find out in a month for sure. I have a couple comments that I need to go back and get. I'm sorry I've missed a few of you. Let me do this now. Kathy, member for 16 months on the jury, says 16 months ago, this go round, LOL, yes, he missed my birthday. It was Sunday, even though I filled out the form. I'm sorry, Kathy. We sometimes make mistakes. But we apologize. And I did sing to you today. Susan Bastrick, member for 21 months, OG. Kathy, you're also an OG. It says, hi, all. I'm tongue-tied. Just one second. Abadi. There we go. He's getting all near the 2-year mark where does the time, hi, all, getting, can I have someone read for me? Hi, all, getting near the 2-year mark. Where does the time go? There we go. Got it. First try. Debia, welcome to the gallery. Kevin, welcome to the gallery. Love that orange courthouse. Zach, all right, you weren't supposed to publicize my text to you. Speaking of which, I have not had a response. I missed my arms. Oh, wait. I just got one. Excuse me. You are not Henry Jones. I'm going to be, yes, I am. I just lost my arms. Not my name. I'm Henry now. Okay. I'm now Henry Jones, guys. Zach, thank you very much for the super chat. Crystal comes in with the super chat, says Judge Wolf is the greatest friends of mine. Dixon County, 35 miles west of Nashville, Tennessee. Crystal, we love Judge Wolf. Absolutely, Judge, I don't know, we want to call him Judge Grandpa. He's just, we've got Judge Dad. He's Judge Grandpa. I love him. Nina Nana Linda, member for 32 months. OG. So glad I get to catch a live. I'm usually in the replay crew or really behind. Love vacation days. Yay. Nina Nana, I'm glad you're able to catch the live as well. Thank you for being here. We're at 11:30 right now. We can do a little bit of court hopping for just a bit, and then we're going to take a lunch. I have to time this correctly because we've got, let's see, what time? 1:30. We have to be in Judge Boyd's courtroom. But we also have today Mr. Farag, which is at the same time. So we're going to pause Judge Boyd, take Mr. Farag live for his sentencing. New weather alert has arrived. Breezy and mild through Friday. Slowly warming up into the weekend. There you go. Thanks, Dustin. Henry Jones Jr., but I go by Indiana. That would be a great response. Salty Spittoon. Let's see. Judge Bryant. Don't look like she's doing anything really interesting. Cumberland Circuit. We just went to Kentucky. Judge Boyd will be back in her courtroom just a little bit. Another one in Kansas we can pop to.
You know, I always tell the defense when I make an offer that good behavior and cooperation nets more favorable recommendations, and bad behavior, non-cooperation, and other issues net recommendations that aren't as favorable. And I had presented to the court the warrant out of the Sedgwick County District Court case 23 CR 369. The plea in this case was a no contest plea entered into in April of 2025. Since April of 2025, the defendant has tested positive for methamphetamine, marijuana, and fentanyl on July 8th of 2025.
That's a problem.
June 24th of 2025, he was unsuccessfully discharged. 2 months after he entered his plea in this case, he was unsuccessfully discharged from higher ground drug and alcohol treatment. He failed to remain in his sober living as directed by his ISO. On July 28th of 2025, he failed to report to his ISO as directed. And on August 7th, 2025, he failed to report to his ISO. He has shown that he does not want to follow the court's rules for probation or intensive supervision. He was not completing the things that he needed to complete in a treatment-related case. And then he's here before us begging to be allowed to do treatment. He was put into custody by a warrant, and he was arrested in Sedgwick County. And he just got assigned to a drug court performance contract September 26th of 25. He is supposed to be doing sober living and treatment and drug court there, but he has shown that he cannot follow the rules even of our bond, because our bond is don't use illegal substances, don't break the law, cooperate with your hearings. The court asked him to be on time. The court asked him to show up at the courthouse. He's not at the courthouse and he's not on time. And the court's own notes said that he needed to be here on time for his hearing today.
Looks like nobody's at the courthouse.
Which he was not. He has continued to test positive for illegal substances. And when you have a felony sentencing on a drug case that is holding a presumptive sentence that is between 32 and 36 months in prison, you make it the number one priority. You call your attorney, you let him know you're in custody, you keep in contact with him.
Communication is key.
You can even find his number in other places. These are things that are so important. You must prioritize it. I don't feel the defendant has prioritized his court situation here. And he most certainly has not shown us that he can be amenable to a treatment program. I am going to ask for the court to impose the mitigated term of 32 months with up to 20% good time credit with post-release duration of 12 months to deny community corrections, and that he needs to turn himself in by 3:00 today.
Wow.
Is my request.
It's wearing the world's largest
Adidas
Adidas
logo. Court cost, KBI lab fee, community, he would have
Stitches, thank you very much.
I'd ask the court to inquire pursuant to Robinson as to attorney's fees.
Of the jury. 12 months. Thank you very much.
But I don't believe that his behavior in this case warrants a chance to be on supervision.
Okay. Defense.
Did you say there was a KBI lab fee?
There is, Your Honor. The KBI, I believe there was a KBI lab fee on this one.
Heather from Texas, welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much.
The lab results were testing for methamphetamine in 2.14 grams, fentanyl 0.07, and then there was methamphetamine and fentanyl detected in some paraphernalia.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gillette. Mr. McClendon, anything else you would state regarding sentence recommendations?
No, Your Honor.
That's the lawyer I'm covering up. Sorry. Heather from Texas, love it
Right.
here.
Mr.
Thank
Shaw,
you.
is there anything that you would like to say
We
before
love
the
that
court
you're here.
pronounces sentence?
Yeah, I would. I understand that I have a long record and a lot of it has to do with my addiction. And frankly, the reason I took drug court is because drug court was the best 3.5 years of my life in Washington State. I needed that extra supervision and that accountability to be able to be the person I needed to be for myself. And I understand how it looks on paper, but that's not the person who I am, and that's not the person I'm trying to be. I don't think jail helps anybody or prison. You get out and I think you're still right there in the same mindset, but with treatment and counseling and things like that, I think that it's a lot more helpful to you. But I understand either way how the court has to go about it, and I accept whatever fate is mine. So all I have.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Not a bad statement.
All right, Mr. Shaw, for the primary offense of unlawful possession of methamphetamine, a level 5 drug felony with your criminal history score of B, I am going to sentence you to the standard mid-box term of 34 months with the Department of Corrections. You are eligible for 20% good time credit and are subject to 12 months post-release supervision. You do have 1 day of jail credit, which you'll receive as part of your sentence. The court has reviewed the motion for dispositional departure and has heard the arguments and statements of counsel. This is a presumptive prison case based on your prior criminal history. Mr. Shaw, in order for this court to depart from the presumptive sentence, I would have to find substantial and compelling reasons to do so. In this case, the court finds that since your plea in April of this case, you've tested positive for methamphetamine, marijuana, and fentanyl. You've been unsuccessfully discharged from a higher ground drug and alcohol treatment. You failed to remain in sober living as directed by your ISO from a Sedgwick County case. You were failed to report to your ISO. You've been ordered to appear at the Greenwood County Courthouse for this hearing, which you have not. You're ordered to be on time. You were late. Your excuse was that you wrote down the wrong time and date to appear. You don't appear to be a good candidate to be placed on probation. I'm not finding there to be substantial and compelling reasons. I'm going to therefore deny the request for dispositional departure and order that you serve 34 months in the Kansas Department of Corrections. I'm going to order you pay the court costs in the case as well as restitution to the KBI in the amount of $400. I'm going to order you pay the $45 booking fee based on your impending incarceration. I will waive reimbursement for bids application and court-appointed attorney's fees pursuant to State versus Robinson.
And he has to turn himself in today.
There is a special rule that applies here. You are on supervision from Sedgwick County. Case number 23 CR 369. The sentence will run consecutive to that sentence. You may have a right to expunge this conviction from your record at some point in the future. Mr. Shaw, once you've served your sentence and a couple years have passed, you may want to look into that if interested. You do have a right to appeal this sentence. If you choose to appeal, you have 14 days from today's date. If you can't afford an attorney to do an appeal, one would be appointed for you. As a convicted felon, you're not to possess firearms, and there are the loss of certain civil rights, such as the right to vote, until your sentence has been fully discharged. I'm going to order that you report to the Greenwood County Courthouse immediately. You need to report there, and then you'll await transportation to the Kansas Department of Corrections to serve your 34 months.
All right.
Ms. Gillette, anything else I failed to address?
Judge, he had 1 day of jail credit. Did you award that?
Yes.
I did.
Okay.
All right, Mr. McClendon, can you think of anything that I have not addressed?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Shaw, I hope you take advantage of any programs that are available to you in the Department of Corrections. Good luck to you. If there's nothing further, we'll be in recess. Thank you, everyone.
On a lighter note, I did get a response to my text. Yes, I am. I just lost my arms, not my name. They said, "Oh, sorry. I thought this was my old friend's number. Hope it didn't cause any trouble." And I reply, "It's me, Henry. You have the right number. Sorry about taking a long time to respond. I have to type with my feet since the accident." And then I'm going to respond and continuing with the original message which started, "I can't wait to be wrapped up in your arms again." I'm going to say, "I can't wait to wrap you in my feet." Or my legs. No, feet. We'll go with feet. Definitely feet. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I have too much fun with this. All right, Mary T, member for 22 months in the gallery. Thank you very much, Mary T. 22 months makes you an OG. OG. It's terrible. What a wild game of catfish chicken. This is an ongoing joke. This is a scammer. I get these scam messages. This one started with somebody who I've never talked to before from an area code I've never visited or spoken to. Says, "I can't wait to be wrapped up in your arms again, missing you." It's all the same thing. It's an engagement type text. We're like, "Oh, who is it?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else. I hope this wasn't too much trouble." And they try to continue the conversation and be like, "It wasn't it fortunate we met?" And they're going to try to get me over on either WhatsApp or some other texting messages where they send me a link and the link has a virus in it and they try to get me to open it and they can access stuff. It's a scam through and through. But I like to just stay on the text message. Eventually they'll say, "Oh, I have to switch to whatever it is, WhatsApp or whatever else." And I'm like, "No, stay here." And eventually I'm just bugging them so much that I'm wasting their time. Sherry and Max, member for 12 months, 1 year of the best people ever. Should I send a picture? Should I send a picture to them? No, I'm not going to send a foot picture to them. I keep getting these group chats with unknown numbers. Yes, Telegram. They want me on Telegram. Don't go. Don't go. Okay, it's noon right now. We do have lunch coming up. So here's the plan. Let me tell you how the afternoon is going to go. When we come back from lunch, for the first hour, we will be with Judge Boyd, who has a trial that is live. This is the woman who was accused of threatening her husband with a gun and a knife when she found out he was cheating on her. This is going to be a spicy one. And we'll be back for that, okay? So we'll have that. The husband's going to testify. We're pretty sure the wife's going to testify as well. That's going to be a little spicy. Then we're going to interrupt that and pause Judge Boyd's court as soon as Thurston Washington comes on board, which should be right before the end of the day for Judge Boyd, depending on how things go, or might be right at the end. And we're going to jump up to Mr. Farag, who has his appearance for sentencing and a couple other things, because he has finally been found after 22 months of being on the lam when he just walked out of court at lunchtime for his own trial, where he was pro se. When are we going to take lunch, Judge? That's him. He took lunch, and his lunch just break for lunch, Judge? That was him. His lunch just barely ended. Mr. Farag has a stubby little pencil, which he's been complaining about. That he's been writing his motions on. He says it's just not fair because all he has is a little stubby pencil is all he has to work with. Boyd, isn't live for that case for 2.5 hours, right? Long lunch. Oh man, you're right. We'll have to do a little court hopping before that.
Have them send someone with more experience.
There's also Mr. Frog as well.
I got a stubby little pencil.
And Mr. Frog as well. So Stubby Pencil deserves a song, maybe. So a little bit of court hopping this afternoon, and then we've got a couple good things. We've got the trial, the live jury trial with Judge Boyd. We have Mr. Frog, and there's probably going to be some other stuff that pops up. Oh yeah. We've got tonight the podcast where we're giving away 10 memberships. You've got to be early and be here and like the channel and subscribe and everything to be eligible for that. And other than that, it's just going to be a long, fun day. And we do get a little bit of a long lunch. So tell me, when do I have to come back? If I come back in 1 hour, if we come back at 1 o'clock, which is Eastern time, it's 12 right now. That'll give me a full lunch. I have not had a full lunch with my family in several days. So if that would be permissible, I would appreciate that. And what about Ogletree? Is that today? Ogletree was this morning, Christina. We got that first thing. The sentencing happened. And it wasn't a life sentence, but it was a life sentence at the same time. He was not going to get out of prison until 2043 with his current charges. And he basically just got another, that puts him, 56 years old? That he got another 45 to life added to that. So pretty much life in prison. Portal? I have not made the portal. I'm sorry. I do terrible. Schedule stream. Let's see. Find one to copy. All right, here we go. All right, we've got one set up. It will be at 1 o'clock, which means that all that's left is for me to say to you, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again in 1 hour. Okay, it's actually not set up yet. Hang on. Click. We're breaking for lunch right now, Mr. Farag. Portal incoming. Okay. The new one's set up. Making the link. Do keep your arms and feet inside the right at all times. Now it's set up. Now we can portal over. All right. We'll see you guys after lunch. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us.